Monkey orchid. Its scientific name is Dracula simia. There's a hint of mystery hidden right in the name. The word Dracula comes from its strange, somewhat eerie structure, while simia means monkey. Looking at the inside of this flower, it truly looks like a little monkey's face peeking out from within. The two eye-like markings, the nose, and the shape of the mouth are so perfect that many people can't believe at first glance that it's actually a flower and not an animal. This rare orchid is mainly found in the high mountain forests of Ecuador and Peru in South America, where the climate stays cool and humid. It typically grows in cloud forests at elevations of 1 to 2 kilometers above sea level. Another fascinating feature of this flower is that it gives off a sweet fragrance much like ripe oranges, which makes it even more special. The monkey orchid doesn't bloom year-round. It appears only in a specific season, and because of its rarity, it's a coveted subject for plant lovers and researchers alike. This extraordinary work of nature reminds us just how diverse life can become through evolution. White egret orchid. Its scientific name is Pectylus radiata. Looking at this flower, it seems as though a white egret is just spreading its wings to take flight into the sky. Its petals are cut and spread in such a way that they resemble the fine, delicate feathers of a real bird. Watching this flower sway in the breeze, you can't look away. This orchid grows mainly in the humid grasslands and wetlands of Japan and Korea. In Japan, this flower is held in deep cultural affection. It's called sagiso, and it's especially cherished in Japanese garden culture. In some regions of Japan, folk tales are even told about this flower. One story says a woman waiting endlessly for her beloved transformed into this flower. Sadly, though, due to the destruction of its natural habitat, this flower is now endangered in the wild. Because of this, efforts are underway in many places to preserve and cultivate it. This flower's beauty doesn't just please the eye, it also teaches us the importance of preserving nature's balance. Flying duck orchid. The name itself tells you that this flower's shape looks exactly like a duck in flight. Its upper part is curved just like a duck's head and bill, while the lower part looks much like spread-out wings. When this small flower sways in the wind, it truly looks like a flock of tiny ducks perched on a branch. The most fascinating aspect of this orchid is its pollination method. This flower has specifically evolved to attract male sawflies. The moment an insect touches a certain part of the flower, it quickly springs into motion and pushes the insect into the flower's interior, causing pollen to stick to the insect's body and complete pollination. This strategy of nature is truly remarkable. The flying duck orchid typically grows in the sandy soils of eastern and southern Australia's forest regions. Because of its very small size and its inability to survive outside a very specific environment, this flower is quite difficult to find. But for those who do manage to find it, it feels like an invaluable gift from nature. Dove orchid. Looking right at the center of this flower, you can see what looks like a small white dove sitting with its wings spread. This is why it's named the Holy Spirit flower, since in Christian culture, the white dove is regarded as a symbol of the Holy Spirit. This extraordinary flower is recognized as the national flower of Panama. It grows in the humid tropical forests of Panama in Central America. The flower is white with a light purple tinge, and its fragrance is quite sweet and pleasant. For local people, this flower isn't just a symbol of beauty, but it's also considered a symbol of peace and purity. However, this flower is currently on the endangered species list as well, as deforestation and overharvesting have caused its natural numbers to decline. The Panamanian government and various conservation organizations have now taken special initiatives to protect this national flower. Preserving this sacred creation of nature is a responsibility we all share. Hummingbird flower, also called the green bird flower or hummingbird flower. Its scientific name is Crotalaria cunninghamii. Looking closely, these flowers look exactly like a small green hummingbird perched on a branch, gripping it with its beak. The upper part is curved just like the bird's head and beak, while the lower greenish petals mimic the bird's body and wings. This plant grows in the dry and semi-arid regions of northern Australia, particularly in sandy and rocky soil. It also holds traditional significance for local indigenous peoples. The leaves and bark of this plant were traditionally used for various purposes. This plant is quite hardy and able to survive in harsh environments, which makes it even more special. Its flowers bloom in clusters, and each individual flower forms the shape of a small bird. When many flowers bloom together on the whole plant, from a distance it looks as though a flock of tiny birds is perched on the branches. This mimicry by nature is truly captivating. Bee orchid. One of nature's cleverest tricks is hidden within this flower. Its shape, color, and even its fuzzy texture closely resembles a female bee. Not only that, this flower also releases a scent that functions much like the pheromones of a female bee. Behind this astonishing mimicry lies a remarkable evolutionary strategy. Male bees, attracted to the flower, mistaking it for a female bee, come close and attempt to mate with it. In this process, the flower's pollen sticks to the male bee's body, and when it later visits another bee orchid, that pollen is transferred, completing pollination. This method is called pseudo-copulation, or false mating. The bee orchid typically grows in the chalky, grassy soils of Europe and the Mediterranean region. This flower can be seen blooming in summer in England and various other countries. This deceptive strategy of nature proves just how creative living beings can be in finding ways to survive. Parrot flower. Seen from the side, this flower looks as though a colorful parrot is hanging on a tree branch with its wings spread. The flower's structure is arranged so that one part looks like a bird's head and beak, while the rest spreads out like wings. This rare flower is found in Thailand, some mountainous regions of India, and the humid highlands of Myanmar. It typically blooms during the rainy season and has a very limited lifespan, which makes finding this flower quite a challenge. Its color ranges from light purple to pink, making it even more attractive. Because of its rarity and unusual beauty, the parrot flower is a dream subject for botanists and photographers. Many travel to distant mountainous areas just to take a single photo of this flower. This artistic creation of nature reminds us once again just how full of wonder the world of biodiversity is. Moth orchid. This flower is perhaps the most familiar orchid on our list, as it's widely cultivated around the world for home decoration. When these flowers bloom together, from a distance it looks as though a flock of nocturnal butterflies or moths are perched with wings spread on the branches. The moth orchid's native habitat is Southeast Asia, particularly the tropical forests of Indonesia, the Philippines, and Taiwan. In nature, it typically grows on trees rather than in soil. The most remarkable thing about this flower is its longevity. With proper care, a moth orchid can stay in bloom for months, which has made it popular for home decor. The story behind this flower's name is also fascinating. In the 19th century, when European botanists first saw this flower, they thought seeing it from a distance at night that they were looking at moths perched on the trees. Only upon getting closer did they realize these were actually flowers. Today, this flower isn't just a symbol of beauty, it has become an important part of the global flower trade.